if you're new to my YouTube channel, my name's Jonathan, and I'm a mentor and a teacher. I help people to overcome their fears and their anxieties. Also, I help them to build confidence, set and achieve goals, build discipline, and create a daily routine, and much more. So if you're new to my YouTube channel and you want to learn how to build more confidence and build more discipline and lessen your anxiety, you can subscribe. I do regular live streams, YouTube videos, shorts, events in London, private one-on-one mentorship, and a whole lot more. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I share my journey. I share a lot of the training, the dieting, some of my clients' progress that I do on a day-to-day basis to keep people motivated, inspired, and also to enjoy the challenge of it myself. What else is there? Yeah, if you've got any questions, you can ask me a question. I'll try and answer your question on this live stream. You can also contact me if you've got any other questions or you want to apply for mentorship. Those of you that have been following me for a long time, I always appreciate it. Those of you that are new, I really appreciate it as well. Let's hope we get a good connection today. I always like to make these live streams as close as I can to a conversation that I'd have in person with a close friend, with a client, family, to make it as real as we can. I will also, I will cover the theme today, but we can go in different directions. That's what makes it fun. So the theme I'm going to talk about today is how to complete your daily routine when you've got anxiety and when you're feeling alone, because that's really the biggest challenge that we all face. These are the questions that people are often afraid to ask, and afraid to ask other people, because if these things were easy, then you wouldn't be on this live stream, and I wouldn't have a job, and I wouldn't also be still learning and challenging myself. And obviously we know that these things are challenging, they're difficult for everybody. It doesn't matter what you've got, what walk of life you're from, life is difficult, having a mind is challenging. We've all got fears and anxieties, but it's not always difficult. Once you build discipline and confidence, and as you know, you can have a good day, you can have a bad day. So we'll get into that, and I'll also answer questions as well. So it is a good question, and I'm going to start off answering the question for all of you by explaining how I do it, and then secondly, how I teach it and help and support clients to do it. So how do I do it? How do I complete my daily routine when I'm dealing with the normal human anxieties that we deal with, and at times when I feel alone? I mean, I feel alone pretty much so many times, right? Again, it's not always like that, but that's the challenge. So the way I do it is, but there's a few different strategies that I use to get around it. Now, it's easy for me on some days because I wake up and I don't really feel that bad. So that just makes it easy, and I like setting goals and achieving goals, especially when the goals are not just about my own benefit. They're going to help a lot of people, and especially when it's going to make me appreciate everything in life. So that's kind of one strategy that I really enjoy, that works for me. The second strategy is I just think about how I'm going to help other people, that this is not really about me today, right? Whatever I'm dealing with. I'll pray, I'll get the help and support I need from friends and family or from my own faith, but today it's not about me. I've got clients that are relying on me, and I've got other people, and that gives you a real sense of strength and joy and meaning. So that really helps me. A third way I get around it is habit. I've been doing this for such a long time now, and I'm used to moving forward when I feel awful, when I feel great. So for me, discipline is not based on emotions, because if I go by my emotions, then I'm going to do it one day, I'm not going to do it for 10 days, I'm going to do it one day, because my emotions are up and down like most people's, right? And I can be so happy one day and I can be manically depressed the next day, right? That's kind of, and of course depending on what I'm going through in my life and what challenges that I'm facing, right? And what responsibilities I've got. So really, I just get to a stage where it's non-negotiable. And of course there's days I get where you think, I can't do it today. I don't know how I'm going to get through the day. But sometimes saying that gives me the strength to get through the day, by saying I can't do it today. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Sometimes you don't need to know how you're going to do it, you just need to do it. And I also tell myself, look, it's going to be a long day today. There's like 24 hours, obviously, when you wake up. 15, there's many hours, so I might get stuck in a couple of hours and just think I can't move. I'm in so much torment and anxiety, and I'm just feeling lonely and depressed. So I'll sit that out, then that will pass, and then I'll think, actually, I feel better now. Let me go for a run. Let me go and hit the punch bag, or let me just see what happens. Let me test the belief. If I believe that I can't get through today, let's find out. So you can hear the mental conversation that I go through from day to day, and I also build on experience, knowing that I've been through this before, the good times, the bad times, and somewhat in between. And sometimes I'll check in and see what's David Goggins got to say. I'll learn from other people, get inspired, which I've said before. None of us are better than anyone, so we can learn from others. So I break it down into things like that. I suppose it's all ways in which you get yourself to get past your own fears, and you get yourself to take the action. So that's another way I do it. Other ways are, socializing, community. So I make things flexible. I don't get too caught up on, well, you have to do it that way, because that can sometimes be a trap. People can use that as a way of getting out and taking things to the extreme. So I find different ways, and a lot of these things are really simple. Other ways that I do it is by, sometimes I'll use the future. I'll say, look, today, now is awful at the moment. It may not be awful outside, but mentally I might be, many days I'm going through what all of you go through, what we all go through. Maybe I've got a little bit more courage to be honest and more vulnerable, because I've kind of got to the point where I've gone past that. It doesn't matter that I'm a teacher and I help other people. I want to help people more. So days where I'm going through real challenges and my anxiety's high, or I'm feeling down, or I'm not feeling confident, or I'm feeling alone, they're often the days where I will get the most out of my daily discipline, because that's really when you really got to call on strength. So for me, discipline has been something that I've been learning, and what I've learned about discipline and continue to learn is that it's not going by emotions. Of course, it's nice when you have good emotions. That's always a bonus, but you can't rely on that. So you have to rely on something that is separate from emotions, and especially thoughts, because thoughts create emotions, negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts. So you've got to sort of go, right, we can't stop being human. You're gonna feel, we all feel. We're gonna feel up and down. We're gonna go through these human emotions. We're gonna get thoughts that are not nice. And sometimes you can't do anything about that, and that's a big part of the solution. Just leave it be. But you can have a separate folder where you go, right, this is the objective, let's go to the gym and work out. When we finish working out, let's clean the apartment, let's go and see friends, let's eat healthy food. So I just train myself to do it. And that's been an ongoing thing. So that's how I do it anyway. And if you can take anything from how I do it and you can go and try it and make it work for you, then that's brilliant. And I'm also always open to learn. I like learning from other people and connecting and seeing how others do it. Often you'll find that there's always going to be so many people that feel and think the way you do, and they find the same strategy. Another thing that I do as well is I tell myself that things change. Nothing stays the same. So just because I might be feeling really, really bad in the morning, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be feeling the same way in the afternoon. And it's always the case that is true, that things change. But again, I've trained myself, and I continue every day to not be governed by my emotions or my thoughts, because I've tried that before and it never works. It always leaves you back to square one, not in a good place. So all these things, mental strength, discipline, anyone can build it. I think people always feel like they're not strong enough, they're weak, and that's always the trick of emotions, fears, and anxiety. Anybody can become stronger and build discipline if they commit to doing it. So, you know, there's many ways that you can do. I always find it's always the simple things that are the most effective. Things that usually breach out of simplicity, they usually don't work. Or if they do work, you end up wasting so much time and energy, and you just get stuck in all these different mental and emotional patterns of anxiety and overthinking. So it's about, I did a YouTube video, which I was so happy I haven't uploaded it yet. I had some problems editing. And I spoke about the most effective way of overcoming most anxieties and building confidence is to not think and just to do. To train yourself to just say, look, I'm going to switch off from the thinking. Sometimes you can't stop the thinking. Sometimes you can't stop feeling anxiety. But what you can do is you can choose to act in spite of anxiety, negative thoughts and emotions. And when you do that over time, when you do this discipline over the long haul, your emotions start to get better anyway. They start to regulate, and your thought patterns start to improve as a result. And it makes sense when you it makes sense when you don't try and think about this too much, but when you actually apply it and you learn through experience. And again, you can learn that again through all the different ways in which you can take action, through socializing, you know, through things like praying and mindfulness and sitting down, but mostly through physical action, you know, gym, training, public speaking, you know, cleaning your apartment, cooking. It's mostly things that are practical. The practicalities of life are where you're going to gain most of your confidence and self-esteem in this area, and discipline, because as a lot of you know, you can't build discipline by just sitting around and not doing anything. You know, in terms of meditation, yes, but not in terms of like losing weight, you know, improving communication skills. A lot of the things that if we need to do, and if we just sit around, they're not going to get done on their own. So this is the challenge that people face daily, the challenge of being able to take action whilst they're having anxiety, whilst they're not feeling good, and whilst people are feeling alone. And you know, feeling alone, it's not just the feeling that we experience when you're on your own. People can feel like that when they're around people, because you're alone in your own fears. So the challenge is to be able to start to actually, the challenge is to start be able to actually be alone on your own and do things and enjoy your own company. And of course, that's a daily discipline. That's something that you can achieve every day. Another thing that I want to explain is I think a lot of the times people's relationship with time, with daily life, is not always very good. Mine wasn't until I improved it. So people can feel like, well, I guess when people are feeling lonely and anxious, they see it as, well, I'm in that place now and I can't get out of it today. But you can get out of it today. You can do this by the hour. I mean, I did it today. I've been doing it for a long time now. So to give you an example, and of course it's not going to be like that. It can be for some people. It depends on what space you're in, right? So it's not about judging where you're at, where other people are at. There's no failure in this. There's only learning and feedback and obviously improving, right? Because eventually you're going to get into a good place. I've gotten there so many times in my life. I've been in bad places. I've been in great places. But the point is, there is hope for everyone who's willing to put the time and the effort in and get the support and the help that they need and deserve. So, okay, so you wake up in the morning and you're not in a good space. You're not feeling good. You're feeling down, lonely. But if you go to the gym, you can come out of that space within 45 minutes. That's the great thing about discipline. Discipline makes you realize through experience that whatever space you're in your life, that it doesn't have to be permanent. And if you exercise, you get to experience that. And that's something that I always thoroughly enjoy experiencing and helping other people on a day-to-day basis. Now, of course, there's going to be days where you're going to feel lonely the whole day, but you're already going through that. So I try to explain to people, if you're going through depression and anxiety, or even for people that are not going through that, they might be happy in their life, but they're not satisfied because they're not in shape, or maybe they're not disciplined in certain areas. So everybody can learn, and everyone can benefit. So back to my point, it's not allowing your own mind to trick you into believing that things can't change things can change by the day. They really can. They can change by the hour. I see it with a gym that I go to. I might see someone and they might be down in the dumps. I might say, how are you doing? You all right? I say, oh, I'm not feeling too good today. Oh, you know, we all get days like that. Me too. Oh, you know, I'm just feeling down. I'm stressed, or oh, I didn't get enough done at work, or, and then I'll say, you know what, keep going. Maybe we have a conversation for 30 minutes, have a coffee. You start to see their mood change a little bit. Then I see them an hour later after they finish their workout. Say, hey, how you doing? I say, oh, I feel a bit better now. Well, of course, because you worked out. So, you know, it's not a permanent place. You must realize that. That's probably the most effective thing I could share today. That just because you're not feeling good right now doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. And I cleaned my apartment today, and I didn't feel like doing it, right? And I felt better after I did it, and I made some healthy food today, and I didn't feel like doing it, and I enjoyed it. And I didn't feel like coming on this live stream today. It's not because I don't want to help all of you, and it's nothing against any of you, but I didn't feel like doing it. I'm a human being. But I didn't go by my feelings and emotions, because I have a job to do, and I want to help more of you. I want to continue to build my business and show up. And I feel quite grateful now to be here doing this. But even if I didn't feel like it, it doesn't matter. So we're not going to go based on always on our emotions for now. Because if we do that, then we're going to not do it. We're going to talk ourselves out of it. And if discipline has taught me anything, discipline has taught me that I can't go by my emotions. Because my emotions are often, our emotions, they're not based on facts. They're not based on truth. Often they're not even based on reality. They're based on feelings. And they're based on how we feel, and we change from time to. Now, of course, sometimes that gets confusing because people are like, well, what do you mean by that? Our feelings will speak and say, well, our feelings are everything. Well, they're not. Feelings are important. Of course, they're a gift. We know we're love, kindness, but often the other feelings are negative. Guilt and shame, you know, torment, all those feelings that we wouldn't wish on other people. So you can't always go by that. Even happiness can be misleading. You wake up in the morning, we've all experienced it, it's a beautiful feeling, and you're so happy, and I've been so happy, and something can change in an hour. Someone can upset you, or you might think about something that you didn't even want to think about it. It's an intrusive thought, it just comes into your mind, a disturbing thought. Now, all of a sudden you've got anxiety and you feel terrible. And then you say, oh, I'm not going to go out today. I'm quitting the whole day today. I'm not going to go work. I'm going to cancel plans with family and friends. I'm not going to clean my apartment. You've just decided to reject living for the whole day because you were bullied by your own emotions. Does that make sense? So we're not saying that emotions are bad. Emotions is a gift, but we're saying that emotions are not always effective, especially when it comes to building discipline. You speak to anybody that teaches any form of discipline, anybody that's being generally honest and truthful, and you ask them, sit down and say, ask them in different ways, you know, are emotions a good thing to make a decision for a person that wants to be more disciplined in life? And anybody will say absolutely not, because they know from experience it doesn't work long term. But we're not saying that you can't appreciate and honor times where you just suddenly feel great and you feel good. Of course, you know, we'd all want to feel good all the time, but we know that's not the reality. None of us, me included, none of us always feels good. None of us do. Even the most disciplined, kindest, positive person does not always feel like getting out of bed. So that's why we say our emotions are there. We're not judging that. It's part of being human. There's some beautiful things in that. Our thoughts, we have thoughts that we can't control. We're human, it's not our fault. But discipline is over here, where we do have a choice. It is a behavioral choice. Sometimes we feel like we don't have a choice, but we do. Appreciate all of you coming on today. Monster Jam says, I inspired you by going out of your social comfort zone 6 years ago. I'm in a great place now. Incomparable. I can't believe that I used to feel paralyzed for no logical reason in some social settings. That's brilliant, man. Well done. I'm well pleased to hear that. That would give other people hope, and that's a great perspective, obviously, because you did a lot of the things that were required. Most of all, you faced your fears, which is great. So yeah, facing fear is a discipline, and again, I like to share these stories because they're true and they help people. Um, I learnt this a long time ago when I started amateur boxing, because when I first started boxing, I was governed by my emotions, because obviously I didn't have the experience that I've got now, and that's why I was there, to learn from the mentors and the teachers and from boxing. And I went into boxing thinking that I need to feel good all the time. I need to feel strong to get in the ring. I need to feel perfect. I need to feel like a fighter. I need to feel secure. I can't have any feelings of shame or embarrassment or fear or anxiety. Otherwise, I've failed. I'm not good enough. That was the mindset I was in. Lo and behold, later on, I realised that mindset was incorrect. It weren't truthful. It weren't even based on. It was not true. And the other boxers didn't go by that, which is why they were better than me. They were fitter than me, and I had to learn from other teachers because I was in a negative mindset. You could even say that my mindset, it wasn't negative. It was just a mindset that wasn't helpful. I had to learn. I had to unlearn those that perspective on life, because it didn't work. Because what happened was, I'd wake up in the morning when I lived at my nan's, and I'd be in a good mood. I'd be excited. I'd get on the train and I'd start to experience a mild panic attack, because I was nervous about uncertainty, about going to the gym and about sparring, and I was just nervous. I'm human. And then I think, oh, something's wrong with me. I need to not go to the gym today. I've done something wrong. It's my fault. I didn't realize that wasn't my fault. I had to learn how to manage my anxiety by building discipline and by not being governed by my thoughts and emotions, but by being governed by my being disciplined. And the trainers taught me that, because I would ask them for guidance, and in different ways they would say to me, you just got to get in. You can't say today, oh, I don't feel like it, because you're going to say that the next day and then the next day, and then you're never going to do it. And they were very good with me as well. They were patient and kind. And eventually I learned, and I just had to get in the ring. And I remember thinking that I feel so weak. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't believe in myself. I had to go through those mental fears and barriers and get in the ring and just do my best. And it was at that point when I realized, wow, I didn't know anything about this. I don't know nothing about the reality of getting in the ring and boxing, because I never did it before. I watched boxing on television, which was great, and I hit the pads and hit the bag, but I'd never been in the ring before, and I never knew it. It felt so intense. But over time, I had to have faith and trust the process, trust what the trainers were telling me, and I got better over time. And that's when I stopped being governed by my thoughts, my emotions, and my anxiety. And I just took the action, allowed whatever was going to happen, and I got stronger over time, mentally and emotionally. So we're not saying that emotions are bad, they're not, but we're saying that we can't rely on our emotions, especially in the area of building confidence, getting over anxiety, all the anxiety, social life, exercise, and in the same, I think it's, I lost the word. I had a really good word I was excited to share. Never mind. I think the word is president, or the same principle. Same principle as getting in shape and losing weight. And I know a lot of people don't understand it. I totally get it, right? It's naive thinking, and it's fine. It's not judging anyone. I've done the same. So people will often, they will see, let's say for example, they will look at David Goggins running, or anybody that runs. I love running. I'm fascinated with anyone who does it. I respect it. Or they see you guys and girls see me running now. Some of you may not know me. You've not followed my journey. You've not seen my struggles. You're just seeing me running. You think, oh, it's easy for him. He's running. He must have good emotions running through his body. He must have good thoughts all the time. It's like, no, that's not true. Sometimes it's like that. That's not the full extent of the story. That's not based on reality. The reality is, I have got negative thoughts going through my head the same as you do, and I have got emotions that are up and down, but I've built discipline from doing it for over 2 years now, And also it doesn't mean because you're experiencing anxiety and all sorts of emotions, whether they're positive or really negative, that you can't enjoy it. You can. I'm enjoying this live stream now. I mean, I'm not experiencing many emotions, but I'm really enjoying it. There's a connection, and it feels just, I just feel blessed to be here doing it. That's what I'm experiencing. But I wouldn't say that is, that's not the emotional experience, but that's more the spiritual experience. That's more the connection, if that makes sense. So there's a connection that you get when you practice discipline in the most simplest of ways, whether that is getting out of bed when you feel awful, or up and down and vacuuming the apartment and cleaning. You will eventually get a connection. You will, irrespective of the bad emotions you're feeling. And you'll also experience that, as a lot of you will, and you've done it in your life so many times when you're talking to people. So discipline is also in socializing. I know a lot of people on this channel are really passionate, like I am, about social anxiety, because we've all experienced it on this community. And I've been fortunate to help many of you to make progress with your social anxiety, and to share my story with my struggles with social anxiety and how I overcame it. It was a long time. So the discipline with social anxiety is the same. We don't go by our emotions and the thoughts that are going through our head when we are talking to people. We focus on the discipline, irrespective of what we're feeling. And it's not always comfortable, of course it's not, but we focus on communicating with the person that's in front of us. And we try our best to not be discouraged by the intrusive thoughts that run through our head, which are not us. They're not thoughts that we agree on. They're not our values, but we have these thoughts that run through it, and we have these emotions which can also be disturbing and uncomfortable, but they're not who we are as a person. And we practice the discipline of trying to focus for as long as we can and trying to be ourselves, kind, patient, and having a good time talking to people, simple. And as you do that consistently, you get better and better, and the emotions lose their power to bully you, torment you, and make you feel disconnected and lonely. So this is how you get into that. This is how you go from feeling loneliness, alone, whether you're on your own or with people, to feeling connected. So loneliness is the absence of connection, and it takes discipline to realize that, and discipline to apply that and connect on that. Leonardo Davin, good to see you. I don't know if you're new on the channel. If you are, I appreciate you come and subscribe. You say anxiety can have many causes. Since I've learned that I shouldn't eat gluten and lactose, my anxiety has almost disappeared. That's great news, and you're right, I agree with you. Anxiety plays out in so many different ways. Well done for learning that and applying it. Before that, I thought it was because of my life. It was actually the food intake. You're actually correct. I'm glad that you shared that. That's another great thing to know for a lot of people, and it's something that I'm grateful that you've made progress, and I'm also grateful that you've told me that as well. So you know, the discipline to live irrespective of how you feel. Please get some of your questions in. I always enjoy the questions. Don't be nervous or anxious. You're not interrupting me. That's the whole point of these live streams, to get the questions going. You know, add your thoughts, add to the conversation. Because sometimes I run out of things to say, like now, because I've said the most important things, and then I'll see what else comes. I'll touch on some more things. We'll get some questions going. Let me get some water as well, just a second. Now, I might do this for a second, right? Bear with me, because I guess I'm jumping on tangents, but the reason why I'm sharing this, because it helps me to share more tips and mentorship and advice for all of you. I want to give you different things that you can try, because everyone's different, everyone's in different places, and try and be patient, all of you, right? Because I might share something, some of you might not agree on it, and it might not work for you, but someone else may really agree on it and it can really work for them. And I'm still learning that with anxiety, although anxiety is the same in that we all suffer from it, but everyone, no, different therapies work for different people, right? And there's times in my life where people have recommended things to me and I've said, no, that wouldn't work for me right now, because where I'm at, it's not going to work. And maybe 5 years later, I think, you know what? I really feel like trying that now, and I'll try it and it will work brilliantly. So I do believe in timing, but I also do believe sometimes you've got to persevere and you've got to try new things. And obviously, I could say to some of you now, running's amazing. It's changed my life. I've lost over 50 pounds. It's brilliant for anxiety, confidence. It gives you so much things that can help you in your life. I've helped with a lot of clients to get running, but it might not work for some of you. Some of you might not enjoy running. You might have knee injuries. So I might say, well, in that case, try swimming. Some of you go, yeah, you totally resonate with swimming. So I don't want any of you to get too obsessed or fixated on feeling that just because I say an exercise, you have to do that. There's no other way, because there are many ways within the principles of getting over anxiety, building confidence. How you doing, Drew? Is it normal to feel depressed or lonely if you're self-improving? Definitely it's normal. It's definitely normal to feel that way. And you're absolutely right. And that was one of the things that I was explaining earlier on. I think it's normal to feel like that at any moment because we're human, but definitely when you're self-improving, that is normal. And that is part of the challenge, Drew, to not be discouraged by that, and to use that to keep going. But I always say to people as well, we don't want to take things to the extreme. Obviously, if you're feeling really lonely, then don't be on your own too long. That's not healthy. Get around your friends and family, because it's not cool to be lonely and alone and to make yourself suffer more. So there is a balance with everything, right? We don't want to take things to the extreme, because that's not going to be good for your mental health. But we also do want to learn. There are times when obviously we are on our own and we're not always going to be around our friends and family. So we do have to learn how to enjoy our own company, or at least how to get through difficult times on our own. And we all have to learn that. I have to learn that too. I'm still learning that at age 40. I'm always really impressed when anybody's got the courage to admit that they get lonely. Because when I was growing up, when I was younger, I didn't have the courage to say that. I was too embarrassed, too ashamed. I was worried about what people would think about me. So I think that's a great strength. But the truth is, we all feel alone at times. And I think even with that, I think there is a place that you can get to. I'm still working on it myself, where you're okay with that. You don't make that something that's bad or shameful. You learn to live with that, and then it doesn't affect you as much. You can find gratitude even when you're feeling lonely. You can find things to do. You can find something to do that will make you feel a sense of connection, or actually make you feel more connected, or whatever, more in a better space in your life. Oh, great. So I just read your question. You're Canadian, living in Romania. Salute to you. I appreciate that. So what else did I want to discuss today? Yeah. A lot of the things lately that I would like to share more to help people and give people some perspective and mentorship or tips is the running. I'm getting so much out of the running. It's like a never-ending experience, which I really enjoy, if that makes sense. I kind of sensed that when I first started getting into running, but I'm amazed at how every run is the same but different. It's always different. There's always new things that I learn. One of which is how much I appreciate and enjoy what you get out of it when you finish the run, and even during the run and before the run. It's hard to explain unless you've done it, or you've experienced that same sort of perspective in other areas of life, which is also great. It doesn't have to be just from running. But yeah, I always had a sense growing up, I don't know if any of you can relate to this, where I'd see other people running and I didn't do it at the time, or I just was scared of doing it, or I had a negative attitude towards it, or a certain judgment towards running. But I always had this sense that I've got a feeling that this could be life-changing for anyone who does it. And I've got a feeling that people that run, their mind, they go into different, they get into different spaces, really good spaces, and they also probably experience really challenging and dark spaces in their mind at times when they're running, when things get challenging. And I was always fascinated by that, and I think deep down I was afraid to do it. I was terrified to do it, and I wanted to overcome that fear and experience what it felt like to be fit running, whether it was a marathon or an hour or 2 hours. And to be able to experience that now is a, without sounding overly dramatic, is a dream come true. Because there was a long time where I couldn't break out of the space that I was in and get myself to go running. So it's nice to be able to share that and see what happens. It may inspire some of you, and I like connecting on, I'm sure there's a lot of you that are going to follow this channel that have, some of you probably been running longer than me, or you've been doing it, or you've run a marathon. I'm surprised at the amount of people that I've been having a coffee with, and at some point they've said to me, oh, that they've run a marathon. I'm so inspired by that, because I've never run a marathon. So I have a great respect for anyone that goes running, because I do it, and it's very humbling, and I know how beautiful running can be and simple and easy, but I also know how challenging it can be to go running, especially when you're dealing with anxiety, depression, or just the struggles that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis as a human being. And it's also different, but the same in the sense of the excitement and gratitude that I experience when I hit the heavy bag, the boxing bag. And it's a pretty it's so simple, but it's so much fun. But sometimes it's not fun. There are days where you're not enjoying it. Your mind's not in a good place, and your emotions are really challenging you. But for the most part, what I've found of all these disciplines, and a lot of you have testified to this on your journey, if you stick at these things long term, you really do get to a good place in your life, mentally and emotionally and physically. And that's that's one of the points of encouraging people to keep going and not to give up. So yeah, I've always found for anybody that wants to build more confidence in their life in general, or a specific area, whether it's their career, or it's getting a relationship, it's making friends, or it's overcoming a major anxiety disorder, whatever the case may be, even some areas that I haven't mentioned, I've always found and experienced that exercising and training is always brilliant for giving you the confidence and the discipline that you need and deserve to help you to succeed in those other areas. Does that make sense? So let's say if you are, I don't know, if some of you might be the way that I was when I was in my 20s, where I struggled in every area. I didn't have much confidence in many times, in all areas, to get a job, to get a girlfriend, to make friends, to travel, to try new things, dieting, to have the courage to follow my faith more, all those different areas where I struggled. When I started going down the gym and getting that consistency and getting my confidence up, I found that I was able to improve in those areas, because I built confidence from training, from exercising, and also from, I had a lot of good friends as well that I could go to the gym with, whether it was weight training, bodybuilding, or the boxing, or running. And that friendship, that connection that you have together, combined with the discipline of the training, that gives you the confidence and the strength to then go, right, I'm ready now. I'm ready to succeed in my career. I'm ready to get that relationship that I want, and then you're able to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I've always really loved exercising and training, because it gives you confidence in all areas of life. Yeah, it's always tough to read that, and you know what? don't give up, because we all feel like that from time to time. I feel like that too. And that's why we need help and support to get out of that space. But I think everybody has felt that way. But I hope that you're okay, and I hope that you're not going to act on that feeling. I'm sure you won't. So yeah, we all go through that feeling. I think the times we're living in now, people feel that a lot. But if you train and exercise, it can take you out of that space of feeling that you don't want to live anymore. That's one of the great things as well that I found with running. A lot of the conversations that we're all afraid to have at times, we're even afraid of the conversation in our head. And the challenging conversation that I get scared to talk about as well. It's a daily practice for me, even as a teacher. Suicidal thoughts, feeling that there's no point living, financial stress, depression, the past, relationship challenges, intrusive, all the stresses that we deal with that come with anxiety. Running can really help you to face, in a positive way, in a good way, to face that conversation and not be defeated by it, and come out of that conversation and not feel suicidal, and to feel hopeful, connected, and in a better place. But that's why I'm not afraid to say, for a lot of people, I'm sure, well, I hope not, but it could be the case. I can't read all of your minds. I don't know what all of you are going through right now, and I'm not going to put pressure on you to share everything with me if you don't feel comfortable. But for a lot of people probably who are feeling like that every day, that's where the daily discipline comes in, And when you're with a friend, that's why it's great sometimes, because if you say to a friend, you know what, I feel sad to say this, but I sometimes don't want to live anymore. But I don't want to feel that way, but that's how I feel. And then a friend will say, well, I have that as well. And a problem shared is a problem. And then you go, you know what? We've got each other. We don't want to act on that thought. And then you get through it and think, oh, I feel better now. I'm in a better space. So don't be tricked, and don't believe some of those conversations that our mind can have, and those emotions which can feel permanent, because we all go through that. And I think it's important that we're honest as a society, because that can keep people alive and help everybody. Because a lot of people have followed me over the years, they may think that I've never felt like that, and I have felt like that, and I do feel like that at times as well, which is why I go and do my discipline and continue living things that what I feel is my purpose, to help other people. But you can break out of that as well. Good to see you, Timmy. I love your question. Yeah, you can ask me that, of course. Timmy says, can you ask me how many overhead pull-ups can you do to failure? Do you know what, Timmy? I don't know, I'm glad that you asked me that, because I haven't done them for a long time. I've got scared to do them again. And the last time I did them, I was enjoying them. And I've got some good memories, actually, of my friend who passed away, who was training me, and I probably did the most when he was mentoring me. And I think it was like, I think I got up to around 15, 18, maybe 20, but I'm going to have a go at them again. So I'm glad that you brought them up. And I saw Grant Cardone, the entrepreneur, at 66 years of age doing them on his boat. He said he got inspired from someone. So they're a good exercise, man. They've always been good. So I'm glad you brought that up. Same question to you, Timmy. How many can you do? How many pull-ups can you do, Timmy, whilst making jokes? It's a beautiful day today as well. I don't know if you lot can get a sense, you're not here, but there's a bit of buzzing going on. It's really peaceful up here on the rooftop. Currently 3, 5 years ago 13. 3's better than nothing, right? That's pretty good. 13 as well, that's great. I don't know when, no pressure. I want to hire a cameraman soon and film me doing some exercising, so we can get some, make it fun to inspire people. and get more people to go down the gym, work out, go for a run. I've got some other ideas as well of taking a group of people out, maybe a group of you when all of you feel ready, and doing some exercise, because it is a great experience going out in a group, or even if you watch some of my videos and some of you go work out with a friend. Yeah, just to let all of you know, I've got an Instagram page, and that I didn't really plan to do this, but that page has got most of my workouts and things that can inspire you. I think it's really catching on now all around the world. A lot of people are realizing that exercising is so important for mental health, and and even to enjoy your life. I just want to make a point of saying as well, for me, exercise is not just although it's a great therapy, but it's not just about exercising just because you're depressed or you've got anxiety. I think it's a great thing to do anyway. I think it makes life worth living. I enjoy training. I also enjoy training as part of having good experiences with your friends or with your clients or your family. It's a nice activity to combine with spending time with people that you care about. So I think it's always appropriate, whatever you're going through in life, exercising, working out. So yeah, with a daily routine, you can create your own routine, and that daily routine can consist of your work, your work that you've got to do, or your business. I put it all in that category, right? If you're unemployed, I put it in the same category. If you're looking for work, keep going. So if you're unemployed at the moment, that's fine. I've been there many times. Don't stress about that. That can change. So you've got unemployment, or if you're employed working for a company, great. If you're not enjoying your job, fine, you can change that. If you're running a business like I am, you've got obviously responsibilities, clients, content, things that you need to do. So all in that category of career. You can add that to your daily routine, and you put a certain amount of time in each day to make progress and get things done in that area. That's that done. Then you've got relationships and friendships. You have that separate category. So you have a certain amount of time where you spend time with family, friends, or being active if you want to make friends or a relationship. So you put that in that category. So you've got your career there, you've got your relationships there, and then you've also got your physical fitness and your health. I put it in all the same category. You're exercising, you're eating healthy, or you're fasting. Do you understand what I mean? It's pretty straightforward. So you've got the three main categories of living a better life. We've got career, we've got relationships, and we've got health. Then other things outside of that, you can also add that. That could be your gratitude, your prayer life, meditation, whatever is relevant for you, activities, learning a language, music, developing a skill, traveling, charity, if you're like I am, if you're a lover of animals, cats, dogs, time with them, household things, art, creativity. So the daily routine's great because it can act as time management, as accountability, and also having more structure in your life so you get more things done. It's pretty straightforward, right? And that's what I've been practicing now for quite a few years, and that's what I'm teaching clients, and I'm hoping to create more routines for people so they can overcome their anxieties, build confidence, have more discipline, and enjoy each and every day, get more gratitude out of their day. No, I'm not part of a running affiliation, Timmy. I would really like to get part of it, and that's something that I'm going to lean towards doing, because I've been doing it on my own for a long time, enjoying it. I agree with you. That's something that I'd really like to do, Timmy. I appreciate you encouraging me, and I see it going in this direction. I want to inspire more people with running. I want to connect more with other people that run, because anyone can do it. And for me, running's not about competing with other people. It's about competing with yourself, and enjoying it, and just seeing where it goes. It's been a great relationship for me, the running and the therapy, and it's ongoing, and it's been great to share it with others. So I love running. Have you done any running, Timmy? Are you interested in it? Have you done it before? And all these things for me represent community. The running's the same, community, discipline. Boxing's the same, community. Weight training, bodybuilding, swimming. There's communities in all these things. You just gotta be open and have the courage to take part. And you don't have to force it. Just allow yourself to connect with other people. And this is a community, what we've got now on the platform, on the channel, on this thing. It takes a while for your body to adjust to the proper form. Yeah, definitely, it does take time. That's a good question. I like what brand do I put my faith in? I just go. I don't really care about the brand, to be honest, Timmy. I've got some running trainers. I don't even know what the brand are. They're good ones. I've got Nikes on that I walk around in, but I think they're Nikes. But for me, I don't care about the brand. I just care about them being decent and feeling good. So I've changed the different brands. But yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because for a while I wasn't running with running trainers, and then I made changes and got some, and they are nice to run in. That's what I like about all these things. You know, nothing's nothing's permanent. You can change things as you go along. You know, you can change the way that you run, you can change the location, you can change what you wear. I love that. That's what I love about. And the same with anxiety, what we said earlier. You can change things as you go along. You might do a certain therapy for 6 months, you make a lot of progress, and then you decide you want to change something else. And that's a big part of that's a big part of what gives all of us hope, is change and growing and improving. I'd like to see you do videos on selling and fitness. Okay, are you talking about selling in general, in business, what in the entrepreneurial sense, and fitness? More videos of them to come. By the way, just to let all of you know, I don't know if some of you know, I am a mentor. I do mentorship in all these areas for people that want to build more confidence in all the areas that I've spoken about. Now, I know for some people, clients, they may just want to work on one area. That's fine for me. That's all good. Some of you might want more of an organic, holistic approach where you want to work in all areas of your life and you need mentorship. So if you want mentorship, you can apply by sending me an email. I do online mentorship, and I also do in-person mentorship, and I do long-term, short-term, intermediate. Okay, yeah, I do mentorship for that. Mentoring a client at the moment, we've been working together now for over a year, and he's built a successful business. He's still growing, and I mentored him in that area. I really enjoy that for clients that are committed, the business side as well. That's the great thing about, daily discipline, just starting very simple. You don't know how far you can go, which is why you should get involved in it. And this is what happened to me. This is what happened at many stages of my life. This is what's happened to a lot of my clients and many people that I love and I follow, just friends of friends or mentors. They didn't know they were gonna change their life. They just started off struggling with a goal, and they said, let me just go to the gym and lose some weight. I actually remember hearing a story of a world champion boxer who had no plans to be a boxer. He had no aspirations to be a world champion, and he had no idea probably that he was going to make money. He just wanted to lose some weight. He was depressed, and he decided to go down to his local boxing gym. I think he was from America somewhere, and he started working out, and he didn't know that he had the talent. He started losing weight, and then someone must have noticed him in the gym. He's just started boxing for fun. He was good at it. He continued to become a world champion. So you don't know you don't know how far you can go, which is why it's great to get started in any area of discipline that we're talking about, whether it's socializing for social anxiety, whether it's weight loss, whether it's starting a business, whether it's just practicing getting up early. You don't know how far you can go, which is why you should keep going and just see what happens. Take that first step. I know it's a bit contradictory because, and there's, again, different things work for different people. Both can be right. People say, well, you need to know where you're going in life, otherwise you're not going to be successful. That can be true. That's not always true though. So yeah, it is helpful if someone says, well, I know what my goals are. I know where I want to go in my life. I've got the strategy, I've got the mentors, or I've got the motivation, and I'm going to start working towards it. That's brilliant, and I had that when I was younger. But that doesn't always work for people. That hasn't worked for me in my older years, right? So again, apply it according to you and your situation. Where some people might say, what, I've had clients say, I've asked them, I said, what is your goal? We need to set, and they say, it's stressing them out. It affects their mental health. It's not working for them. Trying to set goals or trying to say that, sometimes they say, I don't know, I just want to be happy. I just want to come out of this anxiety. So it's okay, we'll stay with that. How about we try an approach where we don't set goals, we don't put pressure, we just take one session at a time, do the best you can, I'll do the best I can, and we'll just see where it goes. And often that can work for some people, and they say, yeah, that works well, that makes me feel better. And then as time goes on, they start to improve, they start feeling more confident, and then they say, I didn't even know that I was going to get this job, or I didn't know I was going to meet this person that I was going to fall in love with. So there, again, that's where intelligence comes in, that's where wisdom comes in, and being open and not taking things to the extreme of saying, well, just because I might say that goals are important, which they are, or another teacher, but that might not work for every person at every different time in their life, because we're all going through different things in our life. And I can be working with a client now and goals work for them. I'm working with another client and goal setting doesn't work for them right now, because they have different personalities, they're in different stages of their life. So I like to give different perspectives, because as I said, one could work for one may not work for another. So goals are important. I do believe in goals. They've always helped me, but there's been times where goals, I've had to let go of them. They're putting too much pressure and anxiety and stress. So it depends on what's working for you at the moment and what resonates. Try both, see what works for you. Any other questions any of you have got? I've also found as well, I'm experiencing it now, so I may as well share it. When you without putting pressure, again, not comparing to anybody, no, don't compare yourself to me or anyone, but this happens in time. When you train hard within healthy reason and you exercise throughout the day, it tires you out in a good way. My dad used to say that it's a good tired. So I feel tired now and I feel very relaxed. My mind is really peaceful, right? It's not always like that, of course, but that's because of the training that I've done today. So that's something to be grateful for. So, I always say fit body, fit mind. So a lot of the anxieties that we all go through, and we have them at different times where sometimes we can't relax, our mind is not in a good place. I've found through my own experience and hearing other people's experiences, clients, friends, people that are friends at the gym community, your mind is at more rest because you've tired it out. And all those programs that can be triggered and they're going off, the repetitive programs, they are more exhausted. Terry Buck says no questions. Just says that's great if all of you are enjoying listening to me, and it's helping you as well. So remember that, all of you, don't compare yourself to other people. Do not compare yourself to me. I was just about to say you wouldn't want my life. There's a little bit of a joke in truth in that. I have a great life, but it's challenging, and you probably say the same about your life, and we all got our own lives, right? So just compare yourself to no one else. Just focus on making small incremental changes each and every day without putting unhealthy amounts of pressure on yourself, because there's already enough pressure anyway. You don't need to add more pressure. And I've found that if I could give one of the most insightful tips that I've learned from 12 years of coaching, mentoring people, from having, I'm getting therapy now as well. I've been mentored. I need to help and support myself. One thing I've learned is that the mistake that all of us make is we compare our life to other people. We compare our mental health, we compare our journey, and that's never usually helpful. How old am I? I'm 40 years young. How do you deal with social anxiety? Well, if I'm being honest with you, I don't have social anxiety anymore. But the way that I used to deal with social anxiety initially wasn't was by isolating, but then it was really about just putting myself in as many social situations as I can and just suffering the anxiety until it started to go away. And other ways that I dealt with it was by talking to family about it, and slowly getting help and support. So that was how I dealt with it then. But this is something, thank God, that I don't struggle with anymore. But I used to struggle bad with social anxiety, and I've helped a lot of people. I hope that helped you with your question. I've made a lot of videos on my channel on that, but I will make more videos if you want. If you want me to make videos from the point of view of how I could help you or other people to deal with social anxiety. If I could probably give my best tip right now, and again, please apply this according to your situation, because it may not work for you right now, but this is something to work towards. I'd say the best advice I could give people with social anxiety is to be really brave. Don't judge yourself and just keep socializing as much as you can, and you will get over it eventually. You'll get stronger, but it's going to take some time. But yeah, I think one of the worst mistakes to make for social anxiety is to isolate. People isolate because they feel like that would be a better decision now, and they feel like they can't deal with people and the shame and the embarrassment. I went for it, but that makes the social anxiety worse. Now, you may feel like going into social situations is going to be dangerous and it's going to make it worse, but usually it doesn't if you do it intelligently. Now, of course, if you're someone that is really sensitive, then I'd probably recommend getting some therapy, getting some support, or getting mentorship, so that you're not dealing with all of your social anxiety on your own. No, to answer your question, Timmy, no. But I'd always say that, with all anxiety, social anxiety included, a great way that you're going to get over that is by having help and support from a mentor, therapist, family, friends, pushing yourself to socialize more, to get more confident and more relaxed around people, and exercising and training. It's the same kind of answer to most of the questions, having a daily routine. Yeah. But I would also go to saying I will do a video on this separate one. I think I've done it, but I'll make more. It's also the quality of conversation, because a lot of people with social anxiety, as you know, are very clever. They'll put themselves around people, but they will close up, they'll shut down, they'll protect themselves, and that holds you back. So it's not just a matter of socializing, which is important, and talking to people, which is important, but it's the quality of your conversation. And that's something that you've got to make a decision. No one can force you. I can encourage you, help you, support you, and share my story. And I've worked with a lot of clients and helped them through social anxiety. It's also the honesty and the vulnerability and the empathy that you give to yourself and that you give out to others. Because as you know, if you protect yourself and close down, you're not really solving the problem. And a lot of the problem of social anxiety is also an emotional problem. Pain, trauma, and shutting down, and not allowing yourself to open up. Of course, that's something that you build over time, but it's important to know that. It's important to know the behaviors that are destructive and are going to keep you stuck. And it's important to know the behaviors which are positive, that are going to get you over social anxiety. And I learned that the hard way on my journey, which I'm grateful for. So hopefully I might be able to save some of you some time and a lot less pain and discomfort by opening up more. and not shutting down with people, and building that trust with yourself and with other people, and getting more relaxed and comfortable and confident within yourself and within, you know, your communication with people. But it takes time, you know, it takes time and effort and work and support. But as I keep saying, the exercising and the training will help for social anxiety, because often what people can't always say verbally because they're scared and they're anxious and they're a bit stuck and blocked, exercising can free those emotional blocks up and then put you into more of a calm space. So when you're around people, it's a lot easier to communicate and speak with them. So training and exercising definitely helps to play a part in overcoming social anxiety. It was one of the methods that I used myself years ago, and it's a method that I've helped clients to overcome social anxiety with. And it's also making it normal though, because everybody has social anxiety at certain points, until they overcome it, or until they, you know, it's really getting to a place where you accept it, and then it almost won't trouble you. So don't make it a big deal. Don't make it like, oh, I'm a bad person, or I shouldn't have it, or I'm the only one, because you're not a bad person. Anyone who has it is a good person. It's an anxiety that is it's not people's fault, but you can obviously take some responsibility in a kind way and get the help you need and start to overcome it and work at it. Yeah, it's about learning to hide it less and open up more, and that's where you get a lot of confidence, and just being fine with it. Sometimes you just got to call it out and say to people, look, I'm feeling anxious today, you know, and the people go, that's fine, and because I'm dealing with some anxiety, and then, you know, working with it and not letting it, like I said earlier, not letting it govern your whole day. Public speaking is the best exercise on planet Earth for someone who's got social anxiety. It will take your confidence to another level, but I understand it's one of the most terrifying fears to face, which is why on my journey I faced it hundreds of times, and I really love public speaking. It is scary, and I've helped some clients to do it. So although yes, public speaking is really challenging, especially for people that got social anxiety, but at some point when you feel ready, and that could be on any given day, you should go for it and do it, because it will change your life. It will give you so much confidence, and you can do it. Anybody can do public speaking. I refuse to believe that no one can do it. They can do it, because I've done it and I've helped clients, and there's millions of people all around the world that have done it. So, you know, it's not believing the lies of your own anxiety, which will tell you that it's different for other people, they're better than you, your anxiety is more, you've got more issues, and that isn't true. That's not saying that your anxiety isn't high and it's challenging, but we're human, and we've all been through the same things. It's just a question of when are you ready to make progress, and I guess that's why a lot of you are here today. Well done. When I do my events, I often, if it's appropriate and people want to do it, I get people to do a bit of public speaking, even just for a couple of minutes, just to kill that fear and that belief that they can't do it. And they always do it. Even if they go, oh no, I can't do public speaking, it's my biggest fear, I get embarrassed, I can't talk in front of people. I say, well, you're doing it right now. You're doing public speaking right now. There's a group of 10 of us in the park, or at a coffee shop, or a hotel, or at the event, and then they go, are you doing it right now? You're talking in front of a group of people, telling them how scared you are of public speaking. You're doing it, and then they realize that they're actually doing it. So it's building up, doing it more and getting better at it and improving, just like daily discipline. You can add public speaking. I had a client I worked with a few months ago, lovely guy that I love working with. I did a 6 weeks program with him, a couple of programs, and that was one of the things that we worked on, because he had massive anxiety with people at work, in all areas and public speaking, and he took up Toastmasters and started doing it. He's probably even better right now, and he got a lot more confident, and I helped him in sessions to work at that and to practice at work, talking to people, open up more in the sessions with me. And he went and did public speaking, and he's making a lot of progress, and he came to my event and done it. And so many people at my events, clients, people that have came, have done public speaking, So you can do it. You know, don't let your mind trick you and say that you can't, because you can do it. You may not feel you can't do it right now. Okay, you might not be ready right now, but you can do it at some point. You can. And that's the great thing about all these different therapies. I call them all practical therapies. Public speaking, yes, you can do it. Running, yes, you can do it. Boxing, yes, you can do it. Speaking on a live stream, yes, anyone can do it. Talking to people more, yes, you can do it. You know, eating healthier, yes, you can do it. All these things you can do. Good to see you again, Paulius. Semen retention will help with social anxiety and transform. It's great. It's great if it works for you. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, man. I'm glad to hear that. Another person who's transformed. 5 years ago, you said you're a different person. Most confident guy ever. Brilliant. Good for you, man. That's very good to hear. Some of you spoke on addiction. You know, we all battle with addiction, one addiction or another. Put it on your daily discipline routine. You know, don't judge yourself. Work every day at slowly breaking the cycle of your negative addiction and replace the negative addiction with a positive behavioral habit which works for you. So it's lovely up here. I could fall asleep on here. I'm tempted. So yeah, consistency is the key. I say that in a lot of videos because it's true. Many other people say it. Consistency with your daily disciplines, your daily routine. Any other questions any of you have got that you really want to ask me, or any you want to share your successes or things that have worked? It would help everybody. And that's why there's many benefits. That's one of the things that I really love and appreciate and get excited for people for, is that if you build discipline in one area of your life, if you really want to, you can transfer that strength that you've built from the discipline you've gathered in that particular area, whatever the area is, and you can transfer that into other areas. Example, if you've built a lot of discipline up, as one of you said, with semen retention, and you've got strength from that, well then you can apply that same strength in business. Or if you've got a lot of discipline because you've been running regularly and you've gotten fit, you can apply that discipline in encouraging other people in your relationships, or you know, traveling. We're slowly going to come to the end now. I was hoping to do about an hour, so that's great. I've done a lot more than an hour. Any last questions? I'm going to think of a last couple of things, see what comes. I think it's very important actually that I touch on this, because the reality is you're going to have bad days. We all have, look, again, we label it bad. At some point, even I can challenge that and just say, why does it have to be bad? But you're going to have days where, we all have days, me included, where you're going to fail at your disciplines. You're not going to eat healthy. You're going to break the addiction. You're not going to do your daily tasks. You're not going to go to the gym. You're not going to socialize. You're going to get down. You're going to get negative. The good news is we all go through that. And Although we don't like that, and I don't like that for me or for my clients or any of you, there is a lot of hope outside of that. And that is where you have to not give up and keep going, and then you have a good day. That's actually how you make most of the progress on this journey. It's not just from having good days, although we hope for that and we rejoice in good days. It's what you do when you have a difficult day or a difficult week. We have them. I'm sharing this with a lot of you. It's true, and I want to share it. I've been excellent with my dieting and training, very consistent for a long time. But I've had weeks recently where I failed on my own standards. I ate takeaways every single day for a week. I spent a lot of money on the takeaways, which wasn't great. And although I enjoy a takeaway now and then, I overindulged and I self-sabotaged for the whole week. But the good news is I didn't judge myself for it, and I learned from experience, and I just said, well, I had a great time anyway. How can I learn from it? Well, by being disciplined the next week, and then I've got more discipline the next week. So that's true for everybody. It's important that a lot of you know that, because you're not going to quit when that happens, and you're going to take some positives from it. You can always look for positives and say, because it's not just black and white, like, oh, I had a bad week. Well, you have a good time as well. And I enjoyed the takeaways when I ate them. I enjoyed an amazing time with my brother or my friends or on my own. So I'm not gonna let a negative emotion outweigh facts. So it's not all negative. But obviously we have to be honest with ourselves and say we don't want to stay like that forever. We want to get back on, and then you get back on, you get more discipline again. So on a journey, you're going to be up, you're going to be down. You're going to be very disciplined for long periods of time. You're going to be as long as you don't quit long term, then you're going to get there. I think for me, I've certainly still learned humility and humbleness, because we've all done it. Again, forgiving, I've done it. You get to a point where you get really disciplined. You say, oh, I've got it now. I'm on top. I'd never eat unhealthy, or I'd never get a down day, or I never wouldn't go to the gym. Man, life will slap you in the face quicker than you can imagine. Anybody can fall again, can break the diet, can put the weight back on, can eat unhealthy. And I say that not to scare you, but to give you more strength. And I don't know if that makes sense, but there's humility in that. And that also helps me and everyone to not judge other people if you think they're struggling or they're doing better than you, and to maintain humble and human, and then you can enjoy it more and not make it a big deal and move on and get past that stage where you fail at your daily disciplines or your goals or whatever. And everyone goes through that, if they're honest. No one is perfect all the time. No one is disciplined all the time. So it's important that everybody knows that, and it's important that you know that I have the struggles as well on my journey. Always really good to see all of you talking to each other as well. That's one of the things that I love to see on the streams. That's great. So I will do more videos on that, because that's a question that will always be on the algorithm. People say, what do I do if I relapse, or what do I do if I fail with my anxiety, or I don't take action, or I slack off at work, and the answer is, in all different ways, not give up, get back on it. There are periods where I broke my pattern of running, and I got distracted onto other things, and then I come back to it. So it's about coming back to it and not giving up long term, and knowing that we all go through struggles to forgive ourselves, and that's probably what we need to go through to get to an even better place, and then we've got a story to share. No, not anymore, Paulius. Not anymore. Sunday blues, Monday tomorrow, absolutely. Okay, we're coming to that sweet end. I think we're coming to the time. So So yeah, that explains the question of the title today: how to complete your daily discipline routine. We've had a good mentoring session today, a good dialogue, and I've shared different ideas and bounced off everyone. So again, not one thing is going to work for everyone. The principle is the same: never give up. Create a daily routine that suits your values, your goals, and keep going and get support you need. But you've got to try different therapies, different mindsets, different approaches. I've given quite a lot today, and find ones that work for you. And try different teachers as well. Keep learning. All right. You know what, guys? I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it for today. I think we've come to enough. I really appreciate all of you coming on. I look forward to the next live stream, whenever that is. It could be tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, thanks for coming on. I hope you got a lot from this. I appreciate the support. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, if any of you want to book mentoring with me, you can send me an email and I'll get back to you and I'll see if I can work with you on a program. All right. Speak to all of you soon. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday, and let's see how tomorrow goes, Monday. All right.